Praised by many in the industry, was a trailblazer in the field historically dominated by men.
Make sure we don't see people walking around like walking around.
Ready? The Ukrainian-born cinematographer quickly gelled with Baldwin.
The people who watched The Daily said that her work was beautiful. She was someone who was loved by everyone who worked with and liked by everyone who worked with and admired.
Oh boy, here it comes.
They're the tears, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll show the full thing and then I'll pause it.
I'm sorry. But admired by everybody who worked with her.
Okay. So what are your guys' thoughts on this? Everyone is going to have their own interpretation as to whether those tears are real or fake. And I know that there was a lot of talk about that in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, about Kyle's testimony on the stand. So it's an interesting conversation to have. And it's one that would be 100% put to, I mean, this is what the jury would be evaluating, right? With any kind of a witness, they're evaluating whether or not they think that a person's show of emotion is sincere. What do you guys think?
I think that
do you think these tears are real or fake?
I think the initial seed is real. The initial seed of regret, the initial seed, whether that's regret for himself or regret for her or whatever. I think the initial seed of sadness and regret and is real. And then I think he just played into it, right? Rather than try to take himself out of it, he plays into it. So he takes that and he allows it to develop and amplify. So that's what I kind of see.
I think what's so weird about this is that there's such a the range is just so nebulous, so to speak. So like obviously on one end, he legitimately killed someone, right? And it's kind of like the same thing what happened with Kyle Rittenhouse, where he legitimately killed people, right or wrong, that's going to have an emotional impact on you. And then there's how you kind of like how this plays out before you and you have to take into consideration the person. And as I mentioned before, actors are professional liars. So at what point do we, stop seeing, the person who, killed the person, and at what point is it the actor who's, picking up the rest of the expression in this interview? It's just kind of, that's difficult to gauge off this specific, clip.
It's what it's going to come down to. Just if you're somebody who likes Alec Baldwin, who thinks that him killing someone is going to give him an emotional response, they're just a lot of people are going to think those are real tears. A lot of people who thinks that this is a show for us is going to think it's BS. I don't think these are real tears, but again, those are my own thoughts about Alec Baldwin. I've been in situations before where somebody's cried, and cops believe that it's honest, and some cops believe they're full of crap. So the tears. I understand what he's trying to do and what he's trying to put forward, but it really depends on the person whether they're going to accept this as being real or not. I just I don't buy it, but I can understand people well. Some people will. Look at Kyle Rittenhouse. There are a lot of people there. You can just watch a lot of videos of everybody thinking that was fake, and you can have a lot of videos of everybody thinking that was sincere.
Yeah, and I do agree. I don't think that these tears do not come across to me personally as sincere. For me, it's really the suddenness that they come on. That there's no like so we were talking about this when Natalie Wisco was on the channel yesterday and Emily D. Baker was on, and we were sort of talking about witnesses getting emotional on the stand. And most of the time when that does happen, you can see that there's an effort to try to keep it all in. And it's almost like this like barrier that they're trying to hold it all in, and it just sort of crumbles. And you can see that happen within a person. That's not happening here. And it's not to say that every single time that someone starts crying that's going to happen, but this is a similar sort of situation where you have somebody who's in a sense testifying. It may not be in court. It's in front of a camera and in front of George Stephanopoulos. But to me, the fact that there's no like emotional buildup for him crying, that's the thing that kind of makes me feel like it almost caught me off guard the first time that I saw it, that I was like, oh, suddenly he's crying. And then he has his head in his hands. Like that could be someone that is trying to prepare their face to look like they're crying.